Hi, this is Al Williams of Sunset Hill Solutions. In this video, I'll be walking you through one of the ways you can create row-level restrictions in Business Objects 4. And in this example that I'm going to be doing, we're going to create data access restrictions based on a custom user table, a table in the database that's been created to assign countries to different users. One practical use of creating row-level restrictions, for example, if you want to create one report that all users have access to. But for example, let's say it's a sales report and you wanted just to have one report, but depending on who the user was, they'd only see results for certain countries. So that's what we're going to accomplish in this demo. Let's switch over to SQL Server so I can illustrate what I've been talking about. Just to reiterate for those who are new to these videos, I use the AdventureWorks DW database. It's a free data warehouse database published by Microsoft. It's available through codeplex.com. There's more information on my other videos that explain how to get a hold of this, but it's very simple to download and install. You need SQL Server 2008 in order to recreate this example in your environment. In our database, we have a dimension table called dim sales territory. If I run a query to get all the distinct sales territories from this table, you see we have Australia, Canada, France, Germany, UK, and United States. So what we want to do here is assign one or more countries to the business objects users so that when they run the report that we're going to create, they only see the results for those countries. So in order to accomplish this, what I've done is I've created a new table called row level security. And if we have a look at the data we have in this table, we have one column called BR_username, so this is going to correspond to the username that's been set up in Business Objects, and another field called Sales Territory Country. So you can see I have, for example, username Canada1 and Sales Territory Country Canada. So when I run the report after the work we do with the data access conditions, it's only going to return the results for Canada when Canada1 is logged in. However, when France1 is logged in, they're going to see results for France and Germany because we have one row for each of those two countries in this table. Let's switch over to the CMC. I'm going to log in now as the administrator. So when we create a data security profile, we have to associate that data security profile with a user or a user group in Business Objects. So I'm going to show you what I've done so far. If we go down to users and groups here, I've created several user groups. For example, France, and I have a user called France1 in this user group. Germany, Germany1, United States, and so forth. I'm going to add a new one, a new user group called Canada. So call the group name Canada and the description Canadian staff. Click OK. So now it's showing under this main group called company staff. And now I'd like to add a new user in here called Canada1. Okay, so we filled in the information for this particular user. I'm going to create and close. So now we have user Canada1 belonging to the Canada user group. Before I go any further, just a quick word on why I created this user group called company staff. As you can see, I have the user groups for all the countries belong to this company staff user group. The reason I did this was because it just made it easier when I had to assign security to the universe and the connection and the folders to create that access for this one user group, and then all the user groups for the different countries would inherit that security. I'm not really going to be covering security aspects of Business Objects in this video, but I just wanted to explain why I have this company staff user group as part of this demo. Now we're ready to go back into Information Design Tool and start making some of the changes we have to make there. I just want to point out one thing before I start creating a data security profile. You'll notice in the data foundation, which we're looking at now, I have an alias of dim sales territory called geography sales territory, and this is the alias that's connected to the geography table and the reseller table and into the sales dimension. So when you see geography sales territory referenced in the rules we create, that's why. So now we'll go ahead and we'll open up the business layer of our AdventureWorks demo universe. We will click on this icon up top here. It says Security Editor. And we'll just open a session with the administrator account. What you'll see now is on the left-hand side of this pane, a list of the universes in the repository, and we're working with BL AdventureWorks demo universe. So this is one we want to select. So now we will click on this icon right here, which is the data security profile window, and we're going to call this country restrictions. So this data security profile we've now called country restriction. We're going to go into the rows tab. We're going to insert, and now we're going to select the table that we want this to be performed against, and it's geography sales territory. Click on that. Now for the where clause, we'll click on this icon to open up another window. And I've already got the SQL defined over in this text editor. I'm just going to copy and paste and show you what this is. First, let's validate it to make sure it's okay. It's valid. Okay, so what this is, it says that this row level security is going to restrict the results based on the rows in the row level security table that we looked at earlier, where BO underscore username, that's the field in this row level security table, equals to the current user. So this at variable, BO user, this is the current user that's logged into business objects. Just make sure I'm going to validate that one more time. Okay, it was successful. Okay, I'll click OK, and OK, and OK one more time. So now we see we have this country restriction in the BL AdventureWorks demo universe. However, just having this restriction here does nothing unless we assign users or groups to it. So I'm going to go ahead and select Canada, Australia, Germany, France, England, United States. So these are the countries that we have data for in the database, and we want to apply this restriction to any users belonging to these groups. So I have to make sure to click on Save up here, which I'm going to do now. Also going to publish this universe once again to the repository. Click on Next and Finish. And we want to overwrite the existing universe, so yes, and it was published successfully. So at this point we can switch over to BI Launchpad. I'm going to log in as a user who belongs to the administrative group. So this user I'm logging in as does not have belong to any of the groups that we associated to that data security profile. So I've got this report here called Sales by Year. I'm going to open this report. So this is a report that's showing for all the sales data in the database. For every country it lists the region, the year, and the sales amount. So you can see logged in as this user that doesn't belong to that any of the groups associated to the data security profile, that I'm seeing results for Australia, Canada, France, Germany, UK, United States. So I'm seeing results for all the countries, which is to be expected. Now let's just have a look at this at the data provider here. Click on Data Access tab, edit the data provider, just to show you what we have in this report. So you can see we've got the sales territory country, state, province, name, city. I've added the sales territory group into the results. It's not showing on the report. Fiscal year and sales amount. So you can see there are no filters built into the data provider to restrict the data coming back by country. That's all done in that data security profile. You close this. Okay, before we go any further, I just want to show you the idea is when users run this report that they're not prompted to enter the country, and that should automatically refresh with the countries that they've been given permission to. So if I go ahead and click on the Save As button here, and then let me go ahead and expand the section here. We want to make sure that we have Refresh on Open checked. This is going to force a refresh when the user opens the report. I'll just cancel that for now. So now we want to test this data security profile we've created. I'm going to log off as this administrative user. And what we're going to want to do now is log in as one of the users, or a number of the users belonging to these groups here that we've assigned to this country restriction data security profile. So let's log in as Canada 1 to begin with. I'm logging in as user Canada 1 who belongs to the Canada group, and I'll open up the sales by year report. And you can see I'm only getting results for Canada, which is to be expected. Let me try another country. And this time I'm going to log in as the American user. And we're going to run the same report, sales by year. And now I'm getting results just for the United States, which is what we had expected. So far so good. Now I'm going to log off as the American user and I'll log back in as the French user. Okay, so before I run the report, let's just go back to the table that we have for the row level security. We'll see that France has a row for France and for Germany in this table. So if I run this report for this user, I should see results for these two countries. Well, let's see if it works. I'll click on the report, and I'm getting results for France and Germany. So this is working as expected. So let's review the steps we took in order to make this work. First thing we did is in our source database, our AdventureWorks DW 2008 database, I added a table called row level security. Two columns, one being the BO underscore username, so this is the business objects user, and the sales territory country. And in this table we have a number of rows, and for each row we have a username and a country. If the username, for example, Canada 1 belongs to just Canada, they're going to see results for just Canada. If the username appears more than once in this BO username field, they'll see results for the countries listed in the sales territory country. So France will see results for France and Germany, which is what we saw when we tested this. The next thing we did was in the CMC, we added some users and user groups. So we added a user called Canada 1, England 1, France 1. These users correspond to the users in the SQL Server table we've created. And we also created user groups called Australia, Canada, and so forth. The idea being that we can add more than one user to each of these groups, and it makes it easier to assign users to the data security profiles if you do it by groups instead of by individual users. So that was the second step that we took. And then we went into Information Design Tool, and in the business layer we went into the security editor, and for our universe BL AdventureWorks demo we created a data security profile called country restriction, and in that restriction we went to the rows tab and we added a where clause where the country is in, and then we select all of the sales territory countries from row level security where the BO underscore username field equals the current business objects user. And with those three steps we were able to implement row level restrictions in Business Objects 4. This is Al Williams from Sunset Hill Solutions. Thanks for watching this video.